We are in section B, working through the first problem of the worksheet titled Solving Linear Systems Through Graphing. What we're doing in this section is we are taking a pair of equations and we will graph them. We will find that point where both of those lines intercept, and then we will take that point or that ordered pair and we will take that those numbers and substitute them back into the two original equations just to make sure that it is a solution and that we did solve and graph it correctly. That's one way of checking it. So our first pair here, or the pair that we're working with, is 3x plus 5y equals 15. That's our first equation, and the second equation is y equals 3. So we're going to go ahead and start with that first equation. And what we know from solving equations is that we can substitute a 0 in for x to find y, and vice versa. Substitute a 0 in for y and find x. Essentially, we are finding the x and the y intercept points. So let's go ahead and set up our two ordered pairs that we're going to use to graph that first equation. So we will substitute a 0 in for x, and then we're going to find y, and then we will substitute a 0 in for y so that we can find x. Okay, so let's go ahead and substitute a 0 in for x, and we're going to work through the problem. So we have 3, we're substituting in a 0. We're going to keep the rest of the equation the same while we are solving it. So we have 3 times 0 plus 5y equals 15. Let's go ahead and simplify that. 3 times 0 is 0, and we're going to keep that 5y there. So we've got 0 plus 5y equals 15. You'll notice that I'm taking it step by step, and I do this intentionally so that you as the learner can see every single step used in order to solve this particular equation so that we can graph it. So we don't need to have the 0 anymore. We'll keep the 5y, and 5y equals 15. At this point, we can look at this equation, and we're going to divide both sides by 5. And so 15 divided by 5 is going to equal 3. So we know that y equals 3. So in the first ordered pair where we substituted a 0 in for x, we know that y is 3. Let's go ahead and put that in there. So now what we want to do is we want to do the same thing where we are substituting a 0 in for y. So we're going to set it up. We're going to keep the x, so it's going to be 3x plus 5 times 0, and that's going to equal 15. Let's go ahead and simplify this. We have 3x plus 0 equals 15. Simplified even further, we have 3x equals 15. Divide each side by 3, or think of it as 3 times what number equals 15, and we know that x equals 5. So in our second ordered pair, we know that x is 5. And so what we want to do at this point, because we've now found if you will, our x and our y intercepts, we're going to go ahead and we're going to graph this first equation. And I already have the lines, so let's go ahead and see if we can. Here we go. We've got 0, 3, and we've got 5, 0. Those are our two lines. So that's the graphing of the first equation here, 3x plus 5y equals 15. So now what we want to do is we want to graph y equals 3. And in this particular equation, it's easy to graph. It doesn't matter what x is. Y is always going to be a positive 3. So let's go ahead and graph that, and you'll see that y is 3, and so we've got a straight line going across here where it shows that y is 3. So that point of that intercept point is right here. And let's go ahead and jot that down. Our intercept point is going to be 0, 3. That's our intercept point. So now what we want to do is we want to take the 0, 3 and we want to substitute the 0 for x and the 3 for y into both of these equations. So we'll do that with our first one. And we've got 3, and we said that according to our intercept point, x is 0. So it's going to be 3 times 0 plus 5 times 3, and that should equals 15. Well, 3 times 0 is 0, and 5 times 3 is 15. Let's go ahead and simplify that one step further. 15 equals 15. So we know that this first equation, 3x plus 5y equals 15, checks out. Now in our second equation, y equals 3, you're going to see that in our intercept point, y is already 3. And so we know that that is a solution. It does work. So what we've done here in summary is we've taken both pairs of equations. We've graphed them, and then we've taken that point of intercept, which is 0, 3, and we substituted those points, 0 for x and 3 for y, back into our original equations to make sure that they work so that we know that we graphed them correctly. And we have.